was crazy. I didn't go over there for a while just in case. But some studies indicate Sigmund Freud may have been onto something. In one study, amnesiacs reported dreaming about activities that scientists knew the patients had participated in before basically they'd gone to sleep. Even though the amnesiacs had no memory of those activities, their dreams said they had done this. This validates Freud's theory to a certain degree. There are hundreds of theories out there, of course, about what dreams are and what their purpose is. Have you too, Ike? Yeah. So what are dreams really? Strictly speaking, they're images and imagery, thoughts, sounds, and voices, and subjective sensations experienced while we're sleeping. Was it really a dream? Don't know. But this can include people you know, you've met, places you've been, and places you've never even heard of. Maybe you've been thinking about going somewhere. Who knows? But sometimes they're as mundane as recalling events that happened earlier in the day. Those are nightmares sometimes if they involve work, believe me. They can also be your deepest, darkest fears and secrets and most private fantasies. I dreamt I was married to Mark Harmon once. That was a good dream. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Anyway, there's no limits to what the mind can experience during a dream, and no rhyme or reason to what you end up dreaming about. When you're stressing in life, it can manifest itself in dreams, plainly or be cleverly disguised with imagery. For instance, a dream about a grizzly bear chasing you through your house. Okay. Could be the stress you feel about the relationship with a friend. Dream about being stuck inside of a room with no door might echo your feelings about a dead-end job. They're most abundant and best remembered during the REM stage of sleep, okay? This is the deepest stage of the sleep cycle, when your eyes are moving rapidly, your heart rate and breathing become inconsistent, and paralysis of your muscles occurs. Of course, this sounds pretty frightening. It's actually a safeguard that keeps us from acting out our dreams physically. Wow. REM sleep makes up about 20 to 25% of the sleep cycle in adults in short increments. At first, for only a few minutes at a time, but growing increasingly longer as your sleep cycle progresses. Some stages of REM sleep can last for as long as 30 minutes at a time. Since long, detailed dreams can sometimes only last a couple minutes, these long REM stages can be rich with dream activity. It seems like you've been dreaming something all night, but in actuality, it isn't. Now, I rarely dream, which is not a good thing. They say your dreams kind of releases your, what happened through the day. Unfortunately, I hardly dream anymore because I have insomnia extremely bad. And I take Ambien at night. And with these sleep medications, you do not dream. The only time I dream is, right before waking up, usually when it's starting to wear off. So, not a good thing, not a good thing. It's believed we all dream, but we don't always remember our dreams. Consider we may dream as much as 6 to 8 hours per night, and you have a clue as to how many dreams are left behind. Waking up during a REM cycle will make it more likely you'll remember your dreams, but there's no hard and fast rule regarding your dream memory. Scientists do know waking experiences have an impact on our dreams. They're not sure how much of it's consistent among us. In one study, participants wore red goggles before going to sleep and reported seeing more red images. Yeah, he did. Yes. Bless his heart. Bless his creepy little heart. I'm typing, guys. Hang on. But yeah, I don't really dream anymore, which is, like I said, only when I'm about to wake up. Right before the, as it wears off. But the one study, participants wore red goggles and reported seeing more red images in their dreams than those who didn't wear them. Another theory post said dreams are our brain's attempt to make sense of what otherwise would be meaningless. Random messages created from the arousal of the segment of our brain. Others think dreams are merely the brain firing signals that organizes the previous day's thoughts and experiences. Okay, what does she dream? Give me an idea. We'll get into that in a minute. Okay, cool. We'll get to that in a minute. What your dreams may mean. But a lot of people think that it's your mind organizing the day's events, so to speak, and experiences that may end up as memory. The problem with any theory, of course, you can't really prove or disprove unless you talk to people, of course. They're not necessarily mutually exclusive either. If dreams are psychologically significant, they can still be the result of random brain stimuli. I think dreams are most likely the combination of all these theories. There's so much we still don't know about the brain and how it operates, waking or sleeping, and we may never be able to pinpoint exactly what dreams are and how they're meaningful or necessary for humans. But that doesn't stop science from trying, of course. Dream studies are always among the most popular in universities and research facilities, which probably has something to do with their nature. Can you control your dreams? I don't know. Are dreams trying to tell us something, you think? It's real possible. Sometimes they're so crazy you wonder, what the heck did you eat before you went to bed, right? Elaborately crazy stories plant themselves in your head through no choice of your own. So don't tell me something cool isn't going on. What are dreams for? Again, it's one of those bottomless questions where the answer tells you mainly about the person doing the answering, okay? Those who pride themselves on being hard-headed and scientific, of course, will say they're meaningless or nonsense. Or some kind of boring but essential process for, organizing and releasing the stress and things that happen during the day. Those who think of themselves as spiritual, meanwhile, they'll insist they are messages from beyond, but I do believe we can dream about, like Michelle said, and we can see dead relatives in our dreams. Sometimes can dreams be foretelling? Could be. I think it depends on the person in that sense. The hard-headed answer isn't much more plausible than the one who thinks their message is from beyond. Okay, let's read this. Okay, Michelle. See? Oh my God. That is amazing. Wow. You were so lucky you heeded that warning. Michelle, she's the creator of Planet BOB Facebook page and Planet BOB podcast, and she is so awesome. Her and I do that every other Monday. She had a dream that basically foretold if she did something, she will die. And in a certain vehicle. She didn't go, and that vehicle got in a horrific accident. One was killed, and the rest were injured. She could have died in that. But her dream basically of her grandma that said, "Don't you dare do that," That's amazing, and it saved your life. I do believe we can get messages like that from our relatives, especially involving life or death situations. Again, I think it depends on the person. If you have a what's the word I want to use? If you have a gift like that, I should say, of maybe a mystical, a magical kind of a sense like that. What's the word I want to use? I'm tired. I'm sorry, guys. Um, if you have a special gift like that, if you can, um, if she has, like I, what's the word I want to use? Help me out here, guys. Premonitions, so to speak. If you tend to do that normally, or if you're gifted normally anyway, I think your dreams are much more significant. If that makes sense. I hope I made sense there. But if dreams are random brain firings, why do they have coherent narratives? If they're just a dull rerun of everyday things, why do they are often so wildly inventive, haunting, or surreal? One psychotherapist, James Hollis, for whom dreams are far from meaningless rites. Who would make this stuff up? Yeah, Sixth Sense. Okay, that works. Thank you. ESP. That's the word I want. Like a Sixth Sense. Excuse me. Whether it be ESP or telekinesis, anything like that, which we had talked before. But I think those types of dreams are more common among people who have gifts like that. Or are aware that they have the gifts like that. I think it happens more often than you think with them. People who don't really have the gift or anything probably don't. Yeah, well, we're going to get into that in a minute, Michelle. I can answer that for you. Anyway, this psychotherapist, James Hollis, he's like, who would make this stuff up? Night after night, you go to bed, and these crazy stories plant themselves in your mind, and you don't have any choice about them. Dreams are hard to study because, for the reason that only you experience your own. You can't base it on what everybody's dreaming. Everybody's dreams their own personal stuff, okay? You recall them when you wake. As a philosopher points out, you can't even be certain you experience them, not in the way you imagine. You recall them when you wake, but how do you know that memory was inserted into your mind at the moment of waking? Researchers, including Matthew Walker, there's a book called Why We Sleep, suggests dreams are a kind of overnight therapy. That's, which I was saying earlier. In REM sleep, we get to reprocess emotionally trying experiences, but no anxiety involved. In experiments, people exposed to emotional images reacted much more calmly to seeing them again after a good night's dreaming. Carl Jung argued that dreams were messages from the unconscious, offering in a symbolic type form insights and advice the conscious mind might have missed. That dream where you're careening down a slope in a runaway shopping trolley towards a cliff edge. What might that be saying about what you need to change? You wrote down a dream, then study it with or without a therapist. Different interpretations. Yeah, isn't it, Ike? Yeah, that is. Yeah. So while you're sleeping, while you're reprocessing this, you don't have the outward anxiety that you had during the day, Michelle. That's what it's saying. So they say, okay? You know how you have an anxiety attack or something during the day? If you reprocess this as you're sleeping in your dreams, it's like a no anxiety type thing. You're not going to go into an anxiety attack or anything. Your brain's organizing and reprocess everything, basically ridding you of that, whatever happened. is what they're saying. So